All right, here we are on Ohana. It is the final series for the evening of Group B for the Challenger League of the Ascendant StarCraft League Season 3. We are on Ohana, and it is a TVZ as WizeCrax gets us started with the introduction. Good luck, have fun. He wishes him no luck, but tons of fun. He did that in his earlier series, and it actually didn't pay off for him because his opponent both had luck and fun as he won. But going ahead to start us off with introductions, spawning in the bottom right corner, fighting for his tournament life. He's repping pink, and he's not really representing anybody but himself. It is the pink Zerg, WizeCrax. And his opponent, spawning in the top left of Ohana, he's red, he's Terran, representing Templar Gaming. He did have an earlier successful series versus a Protoss opponent who's no longer with us. He is Boomerang. And it is his third series of the night. He's had to play the most StarCraft out of anyone. He took his first series pretty convincingly, 2-1 versus a Protoss player who lived and died by the sword of all ends, and then lost in a pretty exciting TVZ series to our player who eventually went on to qualify in Victus, Soldier Victus. And so the openings here, not too crazy, pretty standard. We saw an early a hatch after pool from, or rather the other way around, from WizeCrax, and a Reaper is producing 3 Reapers. So he did this in his earlier matches, and getting 3 Reapers is certainly a comfortable thing to do. And as he goes around and scouts, he's going to notice that there are no gases taken from the Zerg player. So it's actually a fairly good... he didn't know this, so he didn't plan it, but it's a good opening nonetheless, and he's going to hopefully capitalize on it. As there are no... speed's going to take a long way, and he knows that. Speed is going to take a long time, so he's actually going to make another Reaper before he makes his factory. So he's got 3 Reapers on the field, ready to meet up and hopefully dish out some damage. Of course, WizeCrax has the Overlords in scouting positions already, so he sees the Reapers making their way out. He knows what he has to deal with. And speaking of which, he just took his extractors 20 seconds ago, probably looking to get speed and transition into some Baneling play, and then transition later into Mutas. These 3 Reapers are going to poke up the natural ramp and do some damage against this Queen. They did manage to snipe a Creep Tumor, always frustrating. I feel like as a Zerg player, you put Creep into your build, it becomes a part of your tick, and to lose a Creep Tumor like that, it's not necessarily something that's it's not going to irk you so much as just losing a drone or 2, but certainly is something you have to account for. We do see a tech lab going down in the factory and the reactor going down in the barracks, and he's going to transition our red Terran into 3CC with 2 gases taken. So pretty aggressive macro play. He's not aggressive in his actual play because he has 3 Reapers and speed took so long. He might have seen that being the case. Speed's not even started yet, so he might have seen the fact that there was late gas taken and decided to, for himself to go ahead and go up to 3 CCs because he might feel safe of holding off early pressure. The Zerg player has gone ahead and taken 2 extractors, but he hasn't transferred drones to them at his natural yet. He hasn't taken a 3rd. He has dropped down 2 Evo chambers and a Roach Warren at the back of his main. So we are going to see some Roach play. It's going to be interesting to see this because the response is already available, and it is literally 15 seconds from being done. The Reapers are actually going to get in, and they're going to get a scout. He sees that the Roach Warren is being produced, and he's actually going to be able to, if he micros correctly, he's going to get all 3 of his Reapers out. So not only do they pick up the scout, but they're able to make it out with their lives and essentially paying for themselves, even if they had died, in the vision and the information they were able to receive. The Terran player back at home has put his Marines into a bunker and sieged up a siege tank right behind, a bit further away from the natural, as to defend himself from the Roaches that are inevitably going to be coming. I like how he's positioned his Reapers down here at the bottom left of the map. He's essentially saying if you come to send a drone there without dealing with my Reapers first, you're going to lose that drone. And he's actually going to make sure this is the case at both of the expansions. He's going to take one of his Reapers a little bit outside of the natural and send another Reaper to the other expansion that the Zerg would be taking. Zerg, meanwhile, has stopped producing drones for the time being. He is producing 8 roaches, and he's got ground carapace level 1 and missile attacks level 1 on the way with roach speed. So this is going to be a bit of a push. I don't necessarily want to call it all in because, he's still got a thing or two to go away from here, but it is very close to being all in since he has stopped making drones. If this push fails to do damage, he's going to have to restart on his drones. So the 3cc looked a little scary at first for the Terran player, but is actually given him a bit of breathing room at this point in time. The extra SCV production saturated his mineral lines really quickly. The Overseer is going to come in and get a scout and notice, oh, there's 2 siege tanks and 3 bunkers, and yet he's still comfortable. This is a lot of roaches to deal with on second thought. Let me see, that's about 22 roaches in this initial army up here, so 23 roaches altogether coming across, and he scans the natural. Does he? Where's his scan? It goes down right in front of the natural, so I think he has a feeling, and another scan right in front of his natural, so he knows the roaches are coming. He's got SCVs to repair. 3 siege tanks. We're going to have WizeCrax kind of poke out. The Reapers still in place to deny any expansions. He actually was able to deny expansion, and that drone took an extractor. He's going to try and poke around and take out these rocks. That's the decision he's going with. Maybe not the best decision. Almost losing the high ground vision, losing the Overseer. Very close, down to 37 health. This is in a really good position for the Terran player now. He knows he can probably safely do some damage if he wants to push out. The roaches are going to go up and they're going to get hit twice. 2 siege tanks. 1 siege tank is now going to siege up. The roaches are getting absolutely shredded. They're on really low health. A couple more shots and he's down to only 1 roach, and it was down to 4 health. That was an absolutely terrifyingly bad engagement to take. That was about as bad as it could have gone for him, as opposed to just losing both of his ears and the roach. I don't know what was going through his mind there. He has thrown down creep at the 3rd expansion, but that's going to be dealt with, and that will only deny him about 20 seconds when compared to his production. He's just now getting his hatchery down, and if you are on equal economies, which you're not, you're on uneven economies because you've got 59 SCVs to 50, and plus mules. That's a huge benefit. So we have a huge push now coming out. I think Boomerang smells blood in the water. He's got Marines. He's got 1 supporting medevac. He's got siege tanks. This is not going to go too well. He's got stim already researched. Combat shields is on the way, but I don't think he's scared of this. He's going to go ahead and pressure the 3rd. He's definitely going to get the cancel on that. He's going to actually snipe a couple of misrallied drones that weren't, and he's going to get 3rd one. Now he's going to siege up on the low ground, scans ahead, sees an army that he thinks he can deal with. He doesn't necessarily have the healing power. He's double stemmed these Marines, but he's going to snipe all these queens in really quick fashion. The mutas are going to go down. The Marines are absolutely shredding through anything else. He's pulling drones. The siege tanks are going to go to have a field day with these drones. They're going to absolutely fucking just incinerated. Roaches are going to come down and snipe 2 siege tanks, but these 3 siege tanks are going to absolutely pay for their lives with the amount of damage they're going to get done on the drones and roaches. In the end, he was able to really do a ton of damage. If you look at what the Zerg is now producing now, in his response, he's got 4 mutas on the way and 3 drones, and at this point, with the 52 supply disadvantage, or rather 55 supply disadvantage, he's in a really tough spot. He has laid creep at every expansion that the Terran would naturally take at this point in the game, but that doesn't really matter. As soon as this command center goes down, the SCVs are going to be able to transfer. Meanwhile, he's got his upgrades on the way. He's got +1 vehicle and ship weapons, so that's obviously for his siege tanks. He's got +2 going for his infantry. He's going to have another push coming out here, and this one seems to be unstoppable. I don't think the Zerg player has anything really to deal with this. His mutas are, I don't know, flamboyant at best. They looked pretty. The roach count, absolutely non-existent. He's trying to take a 3rd and 4th. I think what he's saying there is, if I lose one, maybe he doesn't know I've tried to take the other, so I'm going to take a risk. He is going to maybe put those mutas up there to harass, and now he's bringing them back home because he does see this army. He's going to lose a muta that was rallied to his mutas unnecessarily so, and losing any unit at this point in the game is really kind of it for WizeCrax. Really, Boomerang doesn't have to do much army control. He could have A-moved a long time ago. He has a Baneling nest, does WizeCrax, but no Banelings morph because he's got no lings on the map. In terms of actually, yeah, he doesn't have any lings on the map. So I think Boomerang is playing this too safely. He could just A-move and get it. We do have Banelings now morphing at the bottom, but it's only 4. He sees them morphing. He could honestly siege up his tanks, target down those Banelings. They're not going to finish in time. Now in come the Roaches and the Mutas. The Mutas are going to try and target down the siege tanks, but they get absolutely shredded by the Marines. Drones are pulled once again. These medevacs are healing these Marines, and it's GG called. First game going to our Terran player, Boomerang. Well played. All right, so I've been muted the whole time. That's unfortunate. But you know who's playing. You know what the game is. It's game 2. If Terran wins it, he's going to go ahead and take the series. That Reaper went in and got a couple of kills. You never really expect it to get your Reaper in that early and get that many drone. I mean, 2. You don't ever expect to really get 1. We do have a Ling counterattack / poke, but he's not going to really find anything that he's going to enjoy because there's 2 Hellions up here. He made his second CC at the top of his main ramp, and even though he's going to go land it, he can easily lift it. There's nothing really to lose down there. The only thing that could really go really bad for Terran is we did have a Baneling nest go down. If he pushes out these Hellions, he needs to come poke out more. He needs to see these Banelings. This is really close. The Reaper's coming home. Now he's going away. Okay. He doesn't know this is happening. He sees the Ling. That's just a scouting Ling. Some shenanigans are going down. There are 4 Hellions. If he sees the Banelings come in, he can micro these Hellions. But is he going to be able to not lose them and then able to maintain this wall? Let's see. The Ling's coming in. Banelings in the back. He sees the Banelings. He knows everything is going down now. He's got the Hellions at the top of the ramp. Getting a couple volleys off. He's trapped 1. Banelings explode on the S. Oh, the supply depot. All the Banelings are gone. Let's see if he can keep these Hellions alive. He has an SCV repairing and attacking at the same time. 3 Hellions now alive. That supply depot is easily repairable. 1 Hellion going to mop up the last Ling. And actually a really close hold, about as close as you can get. The reactor needs to be repaired. He also needs to see the reactor's on 11. It's on 5-4. He's going to lose the reactor. That's so unfortunate because we've got a mass of Lings back home that can easily come in, morph into some Banelings. Here's the important thing, ladies and gentlemen. The drone count, a little bit sacrificed in terms of trying to get Lings out there. So he's going to have to make this work in some form or another, and he's got a siege tank out. This is so key. He's transitioning into mech. I didn't notice that, but this is a really good thing because we've got more Banelings, we've got more Lings coming on the way. The 2 siege tanks. This is looking really good for Boomerang. I think WizeCrax is predicting bio play, but he should. Oh, a Baneling went down on a. It looked like it didn't get too many. I missed it just barely, but we've got a siege tank now sieging up on the low ground. Supply depots are going to go ahead and start this wall off, as well as an engineering bay. He's going to already have it walled off by the time the Lings are going to try and make the bust, and that's not enough Lings, and it's not enough Banelings. There's only 4. The 2 detonate on that Hellion. Already he's low. He's going to have to morph more. I'm not sure he wanted to do that. He has taken a 3rd back home, but in all honesty, I don't think that this push has worked out in WizeCrax's favor as much as he wanted it to. There are now 3 siege tanks on the field. The Banelings not going to be able to get through this. He scans and sees the 3rd. Already went down. Now the Banelings are coming in. There's 5 of them. They're already targeted by the siege tanks. 2 go down instantly. They don't get the connections on the supply depots. The Lings are already melted. There's only 2 going to get through here. They don't even make any damage. He only lost supply depots. The Overlord saw it all happen. There's not really much to say besides that was an utter failure. And I think WizeCrax, it's been the story of his TVZ life tonight that he pushed with the Roaches when he didn't need to. He kept pushing with the Ling Banes when he didn't need to. I don't know if he thought there's going to be I'm just going to make another CC and I'm just going to keep SCVing up. And he was able to do that with the siege tanks anyway, but I don't know what WizeCrax was trying to capitalize on. Obviously, he's in-game and I'm not, so I've got the benefit of being, a bird's eye view and casting and all that good stuff. So I'm not trying to downplay his play, but it is a little confusing to me. And it is a little apparent in his play that he is pushing when he doesn't necessarily need to. Meanwhile, back home, we've got a Thor coming out, 2 Hellions. So already predicting a Muta switch, he scans the main and seeing that Lair is just about to finish up. So at 11 minutes in the game, that is really, really rare. He sees that he's still making Lings. Boomerang, a 91 supply advantage to 74. He's got to be all smiles at this point. This is going to be quite difficult for WizeCrax to come back. We saw the only game that he went heavy mecha on, Boomerang did, that he lost the second game against the Zerg player. It was Broodlords after getting an upgrade advantage, and he was really never behind in his economy that whole game. This is a different story. Boomerang's got a heavy supply advantage, and even sniping an Overlord and putting WizeCrax in a supply block. So now he's going to have to use those cocoons to make Overlords. This is a really tough position. There are not enough spine crawlers in the world to stop siege tanks because they can outdistance them, so good luck with that. He does make 4 down at this third. There is going to be a Ling counterattack because he knows where the army's at, but it's not necessarily the best idea because you can just wall up back at home, and if you have any sort of Hellion presence, here come the Hellbats. He transformed the Hellions into Hellbats at the top of this base. He's going to go ahead and kill the Queens almost instantly. The spine crawlers aren't going to do much more. The Ling run by in the back is going to be able to pick up these siege tanks, and that is huge, but the Hellbats are too high DPS, and there's too many of them. He's gonna have to sacrifice the 30s. He's on the ropes. He's fighting for his tournament life. I really want to sell this, but it's really bad. There's a Thor supporting. In all honesty, the Terran player is not really spending all his resources because he doesn't necessarily have to. This game is all but won. The only thing that's going to stop him now is if suddenly 30 mutas pop, and unfortunately no mutas are on the way. It is a good game. And he says, well, my good friend, I'm glad it was you. GG. Taking it 2 games to 0. It is Templar Gaming's Boomerang.